Republican socialism. The government buys a mine while failing to pass a budget. According to Reason, a leading libertarian public, the administration just took a 10% equity stake in Alaska's Trilogy Metals for $35.6 million, with an option to buy another 7.5% later. Reporter Eric Baum argues this is state capitalism dressed up as national security, noting the government can't pass a budget but is jumping into corporate ownership. The stated goal: secure cobalt and copper for critical supply chains. The political risk: politicized investing and conflicts of interest. As Reason reports, investor John Paulson, a major donor, owns 8.7% of Trilogy. After the deal, his stake jumped from roughly $30 million to over $100 million in worth. Baum's bottom line: permitting a 211-mile access road is fair game. Owning the company is not. He writes, the government is good at issuing permits and not particularly good at running quasi-private industrial firms. Securing minerals matters. Turning the state into a portfolio manager invites cronyism, whiplash, and mission creep. Okay, what's the real message here? We live in a time of absolute hysteria about creeping socialism taking over America. I'm nodding. There is a genuine, real risk of socialism taking over America and destroying our free market system. But it's not from a Democratic candidate in a city. It's the Trump administration. Again, now they're buying mines. They're trying to take over high-tech companies. They're trying to get their fingers in everything. It's crony capitalism. It is socialism minus the beard and Fidel's cigar. Let's dig a little bit deeper here. It is bizarre to me that so many people who consider themselves free market capitalists, I'm a conservative free market capitalist, they're so exercised how a Democratic candidate, and he's still a candidate at this point, Zoran Mamdani in New York City, who is likely to win, likely to become the mayor, but is going to have no power to pass virtually any tax that could affect them. He's going to have no power to all of a sudden buy Goldman Sachs. It's not going to happen. But meanwhile, the people who claim they love free markets, free enterprise, and capitalism, and who are giving money to this current administration are for the most part saying nothing. Their lips are sealed when again and again and again, Trump is injecting the federal government into our capitalist system. And now he's off buying mines, Alaska's Trilogy Metals, taking a 10% equity, taking stakes in Intel, taking stakes and writing all sorts of rules how our steel companies can be owned and governed. This is socialism. Rand Paul, his father, Ron Paul, all these conservatives were right that we have to worry about creeping socialism, destroying capitalism. Unfortunately, they're the very same people who are giving aid and comfort to their own ideological enemy, this administration. Because one thing you got to give Donald Trump credit for, he's flexible. I mean, this is a guy who's switched political parties 5 times in his life. He's been a Democrat, he's been a Republican, he's been a Democrat, he's been all sorts of things. The only thing he truly has allegiance to is himself, his own pocketbook. And he's not some card-carrying, devout Marxist-Leninist. That's not it. But he's certainly not someone who respects free enterprise. He wants a deal, because he's a deal maker that's good for him. Not you, not me, not the American people, not the capitalistic system, but for him. So that's why we're seeing things like him carve up TikTok and give it to his political supporters, people who are going to make him look good. That's why we see him giving $20 billion to Argentina, because some top contributors to the administration own stakes in Argentina's government or in their economy and are going to benefit from it greatly. And this idea that we're just going to say, well, it's a national emergency, so we need this cobalt. You can say anything is an emergency. And that is, in fact, the playbook of what authoritarians do to consolidate power. Yes, it was done in Germany less than 100 years ago. It is done in Argentina. It's done in Hungary. It's done in Turkey. It's done in Poland. This is what authoritarian leaders do. They just say, hey, I'd love to follow the Constitution and be a good guy like we've always done, but I can't because we have this emergency. These people you think of as centrist in our community are criticizing me. We're no longer going to call them centrists. We're no longer going to call them honest people with differing opinions who may have opinions a little bit to the left of mine. We're simply going to call anyone like that an extremist, a terrorist. It's danger time. We're under assault. Our society is under assault. Therefore, drastic times require drastic measures. This is what authoritarian leaders do. This is what totalitarian leaders do. And that's how they take over. One day it's 10% of a company. Next day it's 50%. Next day it's 100%. Then it's influencing the media. And then it's just taking over the media. And then it's shutting it down and handing the keys to a supporter who will only say nice things about them. So if you are a centrist, if you are a liberal, I mean, you got to get back to the true understanding of liberal. Liberals are trying to fight extremes, especially extremes imposed by governments. They don't like right-wing governments controlling everything. They like left-wing governments controlling everything. Liberals, as properly understood, want individual freedom. They want almost everything handled by the private sector, except for things where it's not efficient. It's not efficient for every single person to hire their own private police force. So it's fine for there to be socialized public schools and public police force and national defense and environmental regulators. Liberals, whether they're Republicans or Democrats, have always believed in that. But what they don't believe in is having the government own the means of production. And traditionally, conservatives in America have been very eloquent pointing out the problems with this until it's one of their own kind and their own team, their own party. And that is what's happening here. Now, a lot of experts are warning that we're becoming Argentina. And those of you who don't know I'd forgotten the history of Argentina, but before Perón took over in the middle of the last century, its economy was booming. It was one of the top 10 richest countries in the world. The people there made 80% of what Americans make. Today, they're making 20% because Perón thought, I'm going to be essentially like Trump. He didn't know. Trump was not his role model, obviously. He preceded Trump. But he's like, I'm the guy. My guys are going to get the companies I want. I'm going to control things. I'm going to control my own Fed. I'm going to run things my way. And he destroyed that economy. It's never really recovered. Today, it's not much better than the economic basket case. And that's unfortunately what many honest observers, left, right, and center, and certainly libertarian observers, fear is happening here in the United States today with this constant successful occupation of companies by our federal government. And the irony, of course, is the people who are supporting him are attacking another political party, saying they're the socialist ones. Well, show me when Mamdani takes over, when the city of New York says we're now buying Goldman Sachs and we own it. And we're now going to say, no one at Goldman Sachs can make more than $80,000 a year because that's the median. Then I'll agree with you there's a problem that is roughly equal. But until then, let's focus on where the real socialism is happening in America today. It's happening in Washington, not DC.